Tēnā koutou katoa, everyone, and welcome back to Mucky Productions.
I mean, I have the brain, but you know.
He's bringing the Brawn. He's bringing the Brawn. Everyone, welcome to our continuation of season rankings that Michelle and I and GP Survivor Twist, Speaking Llama, Make It to Merge, Kappa Immunities, and Use of Strange Survivor Facts have all participated in. And we're starting off with Brains versus Brawn 2. And, you know, spoiler alert on who the guest is, but I'll start off, as always, with my favorite Australian of all time. You know, she took me to a very beautiful restaurant where we hanged out together. You know, she's just one of a kind, and no other person I'd rather do all these rankings with than the wonderful, the amazing Michelle, more like Winchell. It's Michelle!
What is that intro? God, it's like I won an award or something.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, I feel like I'm always winning an award every second I get to spend with you, Michelle. So it's.
Did you just with your parents, did you just get anything you ever wanted by buttering them up so much?
Well, I mean, it's become a thing at work where I just love to praise my coworkers. They'll do nothing. And I'm like, oh, Michelle, just want to say you're doing such a great job. I'm just so proud of you. You're doing the best you can. And now they're like, Michael, can you just shut up? Gosh, everyone's so sick of it.
Oh my God.
At work. Yeah. And I mean, I've really tried it with my parents. Maybe I should. Like, hey, mum and dad, I've never had parents like you before. You know, just drop random shit. But we're joined, you know, something that I love about the Survivor fandom, especially about the season that just recently passed, is that there's such a strong international fan base. And I feel so lucky and so privileged to have had the chance to chat and know one of the best AI content creators in the world. Everyone, please welcome the amazing Survivor Twist. How's it going, bro?
Awesome, Mucky. Thank you for having me again. Yeah, I'm loving my Australians and New Zealanders. Very, very nice people. Podcasts are a bit edgy also, you know, we need that. So I'm glad to be here, actually. It's like me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I believe right now you're competing with useless Australian Survivor Facts in terms of most guest appearances on the podcast.
Really?
He's done 3, maybe 4. Is this your 3rd or your 4th?
I believe 3rd this time. Yeah, he is very analytical and interesting. His vibe was not what I expected. I expected a clown in a way. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he is analytical, but his stuff is pretty useless. You know, it's the same name, right? But you know, if I'm going to talk to, you know, 2 people, 2 of my favorites from around the world, I guess I should probably bring this up because something came in the mail today.
Here we go. What is it?
The World Tribe, Survivor Buff, baby. Michelle, you are one of the very few people who have ever had the opportunity of hearing me absolutely, not depressed, but I was pretty gutted and shocked. I was pretty hurt when I lost the World Tribe buff. And now I've got it.
That's
you
amazing.
lost it?
Yeah.
You mean you lost it around? What happened?
No, so Luke Toki was doing an auction for Premiere, right? And what happened was that I was leading the auction, and I was, oh my gosh, so I've not put on this buff in a nice way. So anyways, I was leading the auction, and towards the end of it, after the premiere came out, I called Michelle because I knew that Sydney had done a watch party. She was there. I wanted to hear all about it, what she thought, because, you know, her favorite was Rob. So, I wanted to be a shoulder to cry on if you needed Michelle. And so, anyways, as we're talking, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be winning the World Tribe Survivor buff, Michelle. And she's like, oh, well, not too long left. And then the thing ended. And I was like, wait a minute, why does it say $800? You know, because I only put in $500. And Michelle was like, oh, someone probably took it. And I was like, oh, somebody took it. And yeah, it's the closest thing to heartbreak I've had in a few years. So
where did you get this one from?
From a source.
Well, obviously it's a source.
You know, a very special person gave me this buff. So yeah, I'm very.
Gave it, or did you buy it?
Oh, I paid for it. Sorry, I paid for the buff
So
But
what
yeah,
did you scout? Did you like hunt around for one, or did you suddenly see this for sale?
no, like someone had made a comment actually on one of your posts, Michelle, and I was like, oh, I just hit them up. They said they've got some buffs for sale, and they actually had the redemption buffs, but I just missed it because I'm currently trying to like prepay for a holiday coming up next year. So I was always constantly broke. I couldn't afford it, so I missed on ones. But then he said he had the world buffs. Like, no, I got to get the world buff. That's a buff I really want. And I have it. Whoa!
Awesome.
The World Tribe Survivor buff, but we're not
buff.
here. Yeah, exactly. The Cassandra buff, the Lisa buff, you know. I had such main character energy. I'm like, here I am in Australia, getting to meet everyone, about to get the World Tribe Survivor buff. This is Mucky Hope main character energy. And then I do not get the buff. So, you know, it humbled me quite a bit. But, you know, we're not here to talk about Survivor buffs, Australia versus the world, or just how amazing Michelle and GP are. We're here to talk about Brains versus Brawn 2. And Survive Twist, I'd love to hear from you, bro. What's your overall thoughts on the season? Obviously, it was right before Australia vs. the World. I kind of feel like it's suffering a little bit, same with like Survive 49, where it's the season people are pretending to care about before we get to the main event, right? So I'd love to hear from you. What's your thoughts on Brains vs. Brawn 2?
Well, you know, we'll look at it. I think a lot about the people that played the season when we'll have this talk. But I think we need to look at how it was presented as well. Like, first of all, I never like when they do number 2 in a title, Brains vs. Brawn 2. It's even hard to say sometimes or to slip in a conversation. You know, just that can have a little effect. But I think it was a very exciting season. Sometimes it dragged on a little bit with some parts, but there were some people absolutely on fire on this season who, I mean, you look at Miles' story, for example, how he won, the way he was edited, it was a bit unique. I didn't see it coming, for example.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting one because how I see the season, right? Because we've covered, you know, like Blood vs. Water, right? Which I think we can all agree is like, you know, the worst season. But Champions vs. Contenders 1, right? It started off slow. It picked up a bit, but then kind of died down. And then you have the absolute high of the Matt Rogers and the Benji blindside going up back to back. Then it drops down again with like the Dead Man Walking twist, but then it shoots back up when Finale gets blindsided, then Shawnee flips, and then Shawnee's out, then Shine and Shane out at the final 2. Even season 1, you know, we both agreed, Michelle, that it was too low. You know, like it's pre-merge is great. The highs of that season heavily outweigh the lows of that season. But I feel like for this season, a lot happened, but not a lot happened at the same time. I kind of feel like it's just steady. It's a fine season. Yeah. Is that how you describe the season as well, Michelle?
Yeah, it's just steady. And when I was writing notes, I was like, oh, yeah, that happened. That happened. It was like, yeah, okay, this happens and that happens. And it's not really anything hugely exciting. But yeah, it's just things happen. So it's not boring, but it's not exciting.
Yeah. Now, ironically, I do actually have this placed as number 8, as the 4th worst season. Michelle, you had put it as number 7, so a spot just above me around the halfway mark. But Survivor Twist, you had actually put this as the 2nd worst season in your personal rankings. What made you want to put it like so low?
There's something about Australian Survivor. I guess I'll look at twists first. I'll honor my name. Australian Survivor loves to do those mock tribal councils where nothing really happens and something else happens. That season was a bit obsessed with that. And the twists are kind of so intricate that they don't really mark you emotionally in a way. Like it's Baron versus Bounty is one of them, for example, where it's basically an unmerge to me with a bunch of people winning immunity, half the people. A mock vote. I mean, was that ever exciting, really? I'm not sure. There were a lot of immunity idols around that season as well. So it seems like Miles controlled a lot of the events around the immunity idols. So that was a fun story with that.
Yeah.
The twist was so classic, yet a fun season to watch. But like I compared to Australian Survivor other seasons, all the other ones had given me a more emotional hold on them, or I cared more about it, and I knew where the story was going a little bit more. This one confused me by parts. Plus,
Yeah.
there's some evacuations in this one who were kind of a big downer to me. It makes you think, should we have such physical challenges, right? For Zen's evacuation, for example.
Yeah,
So
and PD as well. Like
PD as
from
well.
from what I've heard, he was going to get evacuated, but then, like, what's his name? The Ben? Is it Ben? Yeah, he ended up quitting. So then they couldn't
Yeah.
have two people go then, so they kept PD in the game. But I don't think he even participated in any of the individual immunity challenges, like with PD, just because of his arm, right? And
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Plus
and I guess
Ben, plus
something.
Morgan, and like there's four basically eliminations that don't have anything to do with the games, which always puts a damper on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and even with the post merge, Michelle, I guess I'll just start off with there, right? Because from the edit perspective and the show perspective,
Why?
right?
Why are we starting at post merge? Go to the beginning.
Okay, fine. I'll put a pin on the thought. I'll go back to the very, very beginning, right? I kind of feel like we have different phases of the season, and week one was very much like the villains phase. We've got Nash, he's taunting you've got Kent throwing the hat in the fire, exposing his game and stuff. But
they're both so polarizing. I've really got to mention them a lot more because in the fan community, people were going off about these two and about Nash not really understanding what he was doing, and Kent just going absolutely mad, and everyone didn't like Kent. Half the people sort of liked the lovable Nash, but then most of them didn't. They thought he was just clueless at what he was doing. And so this really bumped up the start of the season in fan groups because they were just really engaging for everyone to just have a go at them. And I really liked that casting because it was just so weird to have two of them just going the whole time. Crazy.
But obviously we lose both of them really early on, and I feel like Nash was such a huge loss. Like I'm so grateful I got to meet Nash. Like he's so lovely in person. Like without hesitation, he paid for like my drinks and dinner. I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, no, it's an Arab thing. I was like, oh my gosh, you're so lovely, man. He was just so chill, just so amazing. Love Nash. And I feel like really looking at the Brawn tribe, there's something I spoke with Nash as well. Like you had Nash, Noonan, and Paulie, and then 9 randoms. You get what I mean? Like I feel like we just saw nothing of them.
Well, we had a lot of ads in Sydney. I don't know whether you did over there, but a lot of ads for Laura the Witch because she just featured on every ad because it was something unusual, and because she was saying that, everyone thought, oh, she must be psychic, which doesn't necessarily mean psychic. But everyone thought, well, why doesn't she know who's getting voted for? How does she not know if she's getting voted out? And it was just this season, some of the characters really were interesting for the fans.
Yeah. But with me personally, I feel like all the interesting characters were all on the Brains tribe. Like you had Laura the Witch, right? You had Kyron, which I feel like Kyron was in such an interesting spot throughout the entire game. Rich, I adore Rich. He is the best part of the pre-merge for me. Like the whole the bomb squad thing. Like I loved when AJ just tells him, bro, like Logan's been against you the whole time, and he's just staring into the stars and clouds are moving. It's like, oh my god. Yes, Logan is after me, It's like a whole acid trip. And then when Ali gets voted out, he thinks it's a bomb squad, but it's not. It's just, it's just a complete chaotic mess. I loved Rich. It was so great. I thought he was amazing.
Yeah.
I would say, guys,
and there's some interesting. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say that the way they edited some early men that left on this season was kind of embarrassing. I would say. Don't you think? Like, didn't you have a vibe like the men would not do very well on this season on both tribes? Like you had Max and Rich and Kent who were kind of ridiculed in the edit a little bit. You see those scenes where they're like, "Yeah, bro," and that's all you see sometimes. Do you remember all that? I mean, Michelle, a certain
I
way, like
remember
the women were powerful, and it was obvious.
There were some strong women, and I think the men paled in comparison because of that. Even in the ads, I mean, they focused a lot on Nash and Kent, and then they were gone. And so who's stepping up to the plate now? Like Miles was still in the background. He was being targeted quite a bit.
AJ was still in the background as well at that point. And just something I really want to talk about, because I feel like this really defines the Brain tribe as a whole, like throughout this season. What happened to the Witch's Coven, right? And Michelle, like, I don't know if you've got any more like information on it, but from my perspective, how I saw it was that Laura really wanted to keep Rich as a shield, but like the shield was getting too heavy, right? And your whole alliance is getting fed up with him, right? And she was like, nah, we still got to keep him. And to me, that's what broke up the Coven's alliance. But then Laura tries sort of playing like a victim throughout all of it. Like I think Laura's an interesting player. Like, if there's a second chance, I'd love to see Laura especially come back a second time. But I feel like, I guess from my perspective, and I'd love to hear from you, Michelle, that's how I sort of saw the Witch's Coven sort of fall apart.
Well, they weren't all totally in it. Like, Laura and Logan were totally in the Coven. Like, they wanted it. But Zara was in and out. Like, she wasn't totally committed. And I think when an alliance like that is together, if everyone isn't totally committed, it can fall apart if the other players aren't strong. Now, I found Laura and Logan being strong. But because Zara was sort of like on the fence, then the others fell away, which is really sad because I really wanted them to succeed.
Yeah. Like, we need an all-girls alliance in Australian Survivor. We can't just let America have it. Why can't Australian have it, you know?
It's ridiculous.
It was definitely a throwback to Amanda Parvati
problems.
and Siri. Sorry. It was probably a throwback to Micronesia, Siri, Parvati, and Amanda. A Witch's Coven. Like, why would they even name themselves like that? They wanted to be, right? This season had very strong-headed females that would have been almost a miracle. Zara. I mean, the intro you see of Zara, she reminded me of my mom. Like, I run my kitchen, and my kids do. my kids are gonna do what I want, so I'll do this on Survivor. And I was like, wow, okay, that's intimidating. Logan's intimidating. Karen's intimidating. Like, to me, they would be. If I played with them, I'll be like, wow, I'm intimidated myself. They'll probably get together. So I think the obviousness of it is what did them in a little bit also.
Yeah. And for me, this next stage, I kind of feel like this was the most exciting part of the whole season for me, but the tribe swap stage. And I feel like we have two completely different stories of, like, this where AJ and Miles really do become the main character. You've got the Miles underdog arc where this tribe's trying to throw the challenge, but he finds a public idol in the challenge. He then finds another idol straight after and stuff. And you've got AJ on the other side just running circles around people until he starts to like trip up in his own web of lies and stuff. People are starting to catch on to him, they're wanting to get rid of him and stuff. And Michelle, obviously you run a huge fan group. What was the conversations like when AJ was trying to use throwing the challenge as a strategy?
Well, casuals hated it. Absolutely hated it. And then the super fans or the people who understood the game were like, okay, we can sort of understand why you're trying to do it. I don't think anyone likes anyone throwing a challenge. But if it's got a point that's really going to grab, your ability to get further, then okay. But a lot of the times it doesn't. It just backfires on the person. So yeah, the fan base was very divided. Yeah.
I mean,
announcing it publicly was the mistake to me. You can do it.
Yes.
Survivor China, they work perfectly, right?
Yeah,
exactly. And because I even think back to the other Brains vs. Brawn season where Haley threw the challenge to get rid of Simon just before the merge. And while that was a smart play because he had two idols, right? It's like Simon was such a huge player in the cast, right? No one on the Brawn tribe really wanted to work with them except for Danny and Chelsea, who were literally coming up to Haley to betray him. He's almost like the perfect merge boot, right? Because everyone's going to be gunning for someone, right? And it's like, yeah, cool, you threw the chance to take out this big player, but now what's going to happen at merge kind of thing? And I felt like the same thing was happening here. It's like, yeah, you're wanting to get rid of your, ex-Brain members, ex-Brawn members, but once merge comes together, are your people who you're trying to save really going to stick with you, or they're going to stay with the brains or the Brawn? You get what I mean?
Mm.
One of my favorite moments of the season, though, was Ali. She's on the beach and she's leaking everything about her women's alliance.
Oh, yeah.
So I laughed so much, and I was like, Ali, she's like spoiling the season in a way. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I loved Ellie as well. I thought she was great. And I also loved, obviously we don't know if this is how it actually happened, but from the show's perspective, they showed Ellie walking up to AJ after she threw him under the bus and was like, it's your fault, and just start attacking him just out of nowhere.
It's you or the other next. So
yeah, exactly. I just want to let you know that you're next. Stop pouting about it. Stop crying about it. It's like, no, AJ's got a full thing going, and she just thinks she's just on cloud nine. But also, just speak of Ali as well. Michelle, is this maybe the worst usage of the safety without power advantage, where Max is trying to do a double bluff, double play, and he sends home Karen and Laura thinking it's the numbers, but no, the graduates come on top and they blindside Ali.
I know. Just so many things went wrong there, and I don't think she's not the kind of person who could have played it properly. I think it was so frustrating.
Yeah, and another huge
at a gate, just not thinking before she's doing things. So you can't help someone like that.
I mean, I feel like that was almost a summary of the pre-merge, right? Because you had Max, right? Was like, Miles has an idol. You've had an idol. The brains are 50% protected, but he's still trying to go for Miles here at this point. You get what I mean? It's like, why not try even the numbers? But he blows up his own game with that one move.
Yeah, it's like some people love to announce their rivalry. So people say, oh, Max targets Miles. So I'm good with Max, probably. You took it way too far.
Yeah. And now we do get to I guess the post-merge side of things. And now this is the point I was going to make earlier, right? I feel like the edit does a really good job trying to make the merge seem no one really knows what's happening and stuff. There's all of these different moving factions and whatnot. But really looking back, you've got AJ, Morgan, and Kate locked in. You've got Zara, Karen, Logan, and Laura with them and stuff as well, Kristen as well. And I kind of felt at the bottom, it's just always rotating in a circle. But the core was always AJ. Oh, and Kaylin as well. The core was always AJ, Kaylin, Morgan, and Kate, and Kristen. I feel like that's the five. And then everyone else was kind of rotating. 1 week you were targeting, Paul and Jesse, and then they took out PD, and then they were targeting Logan and Laura, and then Karen and Zara, and then it just kept on rotating. Right? And I feel like the edit tries so hard to show that AJ's not in control, but looking back, he was in control the entire post-merge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that's
you can see that if you're a player, you can see, we're a long-time fan as well, if you can see what he's doing, but the edit was trying to steer away from that, and I don't know why, but you could tell that but also I didn't want to be able to tell that he was doing it, because then can the players tell that he's doing it? Because I liked his gameplay and I wanted him to go further, and I thought, oh God, maybe you're saying too much, maybe you're doing too much, but he was just doing the right amount, I thought. He wasn't going crazy and he wasn't leaving things. I thought he was just right.
Yeah.
AJ was the villain of this season. I think they chose their villain and they went with that story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's there's like a really funny comment. I'll never forget this comment. It was about like poverty in Australia versus the world, right? With this amazing person had commented on your page, Michelle. Oh my gosh, how dumb are these players? If we can see it, why can't they see it? I feel like it's the same with AJ's game. Like, we can see how good of a game he's playing. Why can't all the other players see he's in full control? But but sometimes it's just, you know, there's so many like huge distractions, right, to sort of get through and stuff. So,
and the confessionals we see are solitary. The others don't see what they're doing or saying as well. And if you're not a seasoned player or a seasoned watcher, you don't notice the subtle things that someone might be doing. Like some of them, not all of them are people who've watched it forever, watched lots of seasons, so they would miss things go over their heads.
Michelle, what do you think, though? Would it be a good twist to have two people confessionals to just have a new editing fun thing? We've seen it on
if they were on an alliance.
Right. Like, it's so obvious if they go together to an interview, but they could just mix everyone up and all the possible pairs. Could be fun.
Yeah.
Well, I almost feel like that would work really well with like Shonella, you know, with they're obviously just such like a locked pair. That'd be so funny, you know. But I don't know, because if it's you, Michelle, I don't know if I want to share a confessional room with you, because the whole time I'm like,
no, I don't want to be with anybody. I don't want to be with
anybody. The whole time I'll be like, I'm planning Michelle's demise. I don't want you hearing about all the stuff that I'm doing, you know.
Well, you wouldn't be saying it if I'm in the room, would you?
Exactly.
I wouldn't be looking at I wouldn't be listening to your words. I'd be listening to or looking at hand gestures, pauses to questions, things like that. Beads of sweat on your forehead.
They'll be like, so Mucky, what's your plan for tonight? I've got no plans. I'm just an honest man. I'm
so obvious.
Yeah, like there's a thing called strategy. I'm here for mateship and integrity.
I think you could see a lot of pairs just, who are we targeting? Tell me now. No, I'm not going to tell you. Yes, you will. Little mini fights in professional. I would like it.
Yeah.
And weren't you surprised, guys, on this season, though, that Noonan didn't make the merge? She was my winner pick, and I was blindsided, like Australian blindsided. I was rooting for it.
Yeah. No, I really felt really bad for Noonan this season, because obviously she's at the bottom. She hurts her ankle on a challenge that AJ threw. So she's mad at AJ, and then, you know, Paulie's got the idol, and, you know, it stuffed up the split votes, and Paulie pretty much accidentally votes out Noonan.
Yeah,
you know, in this spot.
Awful.
Right.
Yeah. And here's another like player I really liked. I loved Paulie this season. I kind of feel like Paulie got like the Meg treatment, where just everything just goes super wrong for Paulie, but it's just so entertaining to watch. Like
the Meg treatment from Family Guy.
Yeah, from Family Guy. Yeah, where it's like he's on like the barren beach, and it's like, oh, I've been betrayed by so many people, and it's just a montage of the amount of times his name's been read out, you know, and it's just I love Paulie. He was
great. It was sad to watch, because I thought he was a good player, but he just had all these things happen to him.
Yeah.
Just a nightmare for him to try and get further. Every day was just another painful something. Yeah.
It built up the Miles story for sure, because when he saved Paulie, so many votes we cancel for Paulie. It's like you buy an ally forever, right? Like, could you vote out someone who canceled about the 10 votes for you? I could never. I'm thankful for eternity.
If it was Michelle, yes, I'd be like, thank you for saving me, but goodbye, you know. but speaking of Miles, you know, he's definitely one of the greatest underdogs Australian Survivor has ever seen. I'd say his win is probably up there with Christie's, Michelle, in terms of underdog story. He wasn't under the radar like Christie, but I think the path he had to the end was the only way he was going to ever get to the end and win.
Yeah. Very much the same, I think. Where he was good in challenges and things, she was good in strategy, he was good in strategy too, obviously, to get to the end, but a little bit different in their playing style, but definitely both underdogs, under the radar, and, got a lot of votes at the end. They both only got one, the opponent only got one, and they got the rest of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like Miles' story is so interesting because while we see AJ's controlling everything from the top, Miles is controlling everything on the bottom, right? And whether it's intentional or not, but he is helping the minority get further and further on the bottom, right? Like, I think one of my favorite conversations is where Miles is like, hey, AJ, are you doing a thing? Because I'm doing a thing, but I don't want my thing to mess up your thing. Turns out Miles' thing was actually messing up AJ's thing because AJ was wanting to blindside Karen, but Miles was wanting to blindside Zara. It was the split votes. I was like, oh my gosh, it's constantly these two like titans almost at literally like two different ends of the game, just sort of controlling it from both sides, and somehow they're in the final three together. It's an absolute miracle to watch.
I know. I love that conversation. That was amazing.
Yeah. And we'll also see Kalen here as well, someone who we haven't chatted too much about, but he broke the world record, the international record for the amount of immunity challenges or individual immunity challenges, like wins in any season. And I feel like he was a wee bit of an underrated player, but I guess like his game wasn't as massive or flashy as Miles. Yeah. Like Michelle, would you have ever considered giving Kalen a jury vote?
No, not at all.
No, you're always going for Miles.
Yes. Yeah, he had the better game. Kalen was very quiet. He was also a bit under the radar, but he was very liked. He didn't do anything that annoyed anybody, so that's why no one ever voted for him. He was an easy pull along. Not saying he didn't have his own game, but the annoying people, the people who are trying to throw your name out all the time, are the ones you're getting rid of. And he was quite stable as a player.
Kalen's first scene, if you remember, he was absent from the premiere. My memory serves me right. And then we see a big Kalen scene where it's almost a golden boy, like da, da, da. Everyone loves Kalen, and look what he's doing. And he's just like, I'm gonna be myself. And you see, okay, he's safe all the way. He's gonna have a more of an emotional journey, which ends that way to me. The way Kalen cuts AJ at the end of the season got to me a little bit. You're like, poor guy. Kalen just busts crying to cut someone with his one vote. This is why we want to see a final two in Survivor.
Yes.
I was hearing Shannon Gus talk about that, like to make the final two is such an intricate strategy compared to making final three. Too bad.
Yeah, I mean it's hard because with Australian Survivor, how they edit things is you have your main characters, right? And it's a plus and a minus, as we've already talked about, starting from Champions vs Contenders, where you have like your Matts, your Benjis, where it's like, oh my gosh, it's larger than life characters, and then they get taken out, and it feels epic because they're such larger than life characters. The downside, we have a lot of like nobody players, but when the big dogs get blindsided, like it feels like a cinematic experience watching it unfold, But with this season, Michelle, I felt like the edit was actually pretty even throughout a lot of shows. I feel like we actually did get to know a lot of people. Yeah.
I think because everyone tended to have a really good personality and everyone was very different, I think it was easy to have a good edit. Sometimes the cast, they're a bit bland, some of the players, and they don't give you much, and so they don't get, as many confessionals, or they do get the confessionals, but they're not worthy enough for TV. So I liked the cast and how individual they were.
Yeah. And speaking of individual, I'm so gutted. We almost had a rock draw. And then they caved in. They didn't do the rock draw. Like, Michelle, were you surprised that they didn't go through with the rock draw?
No, I didn't want them to. I was like willing them not to. I hate rock draws. I just why would you put your whole life in the game on a rock draw? No. Like it's just so disappointing if your great player goes out on a rock draw. It's like
well, maybe I'm being a little bit like results based, but literally like the other side was the final four. You know, I think with Keita and Morgan, it makes sense because they had a whole side thing with AJ, right? So maybe it makes sense for them not to draw rocks. But I feel like if you're Kristen, you got to draw rocks here. How else are you going to make your way to the end? You get what I mean?
If you're way on the bottom and you think you're going, yeah, of course you want it. But most of them wouldn't want that.
Yeah. And
you gotta stand your ground. It's basically playing the lottery. It is playing the lottery with people's lives. I think the vibe of the season tells you a lot. Like if you're on a season where it's about achieving each other's dreams, guys. Like you don't leave it to luck, and you kind of make an adult decision. But when you don't care about the other side, you're like, you know what? Let's take a shot. If it works, like I can see why people draw rocks. If it works, you win maybe the season.
Yeah. See, I'll draw rocks just because I just want to. It'd be so much fun. Oh my gosh! Like you're sitting there, your hand in the sacks, like, oh my gosh, this would be so great, you know. But in my very first org game, I did go out on round 2 with a rock draw. So
we'll see. Why are you still hung up on rocks then? If that's happened to you,
well, because it was the greatest experience of my life. I was in a closet literally because I was at uni, and. It was such a crazy game. Basically, time zones messed me up. So I wasn't really talking with anyone. I was super inactive, but they kept me around because the times I did talk, they're like, oh, he's a chill guy, you know? But, yeah, I actually had to do a Redemption Island challenge, Michelle. It was a plank, and I did it on a bus, believe it or not. So the thing is now Expedition Online, but before they were just called Survivor Online. And the season I was on had a redemption twist, right? And what happened was after I got rocked out, they're like, oh, you got to do this Redemption Island thing. I said, well, I can't do it until the next morning, right? And so we did it in the morning, and it was a planking challenge, but I'm on my way to uni, and it's like an hour-long trip on the bus. So I'm literally doing a plank along the top floor of the bus. On the floor of the bus, yeah. It was not the smartest move.
So obviously you have to be up the back. So that you're not.
No, it was a double decker one.
So you're upstairs.
Here's my
I was
ticket.
upstairs. Yeah.
Planking.
Exactly. Planking. Full on planking. I'll see if I can find the video.
You're just braking and taking off, and you're moving.
Yeah. I didn't say I lasted long. I came up pretty quick. But yeah, that's my first ever face-to-face org experience. It was not fun. It was pretty crap, actually, now that I think about it. But look where we are now, talking about Australian survivors. So a lot has changed in 5 years. But yeah, something that I do want to talk about, this is probably like the last main talking point to really have, but the individual challenges, right? The pre-merge to wrestling ones. Now, as a viewer, I love watching the physical challenges. I really do, right? It's like quite exciting. You know, obviously there's a reason why wrestling and boxing have been such successful sports, right? But we also see Zen, he gets medically evacuated. We see PD, who walks away with like a fractured arm pretty much. Like,
well, no, he burst. No, it didn't burst. What was it?
Oh, it wasn't fractured. Yeah, it was something to do with his arm.
You heard the pop.
Yeah.
Why didn't I write this down?
Yeah, I'll quickly search it up.
Ruptured bicep. That's what it was.
Ruptured bicep. Sorry, my bad. It was not fractured. Ruptured bicep.
Yeah.
Is it?
The sound was like a bone cracking. It was crazy.
But,
and then we had the fractured finger, and then we had Ben with Ross River fever. Crazy.
Yes.
You know what I want? I want a season of just Brawn and people who say, look, whatever happens, happens. Let's go full on physical and only physical challenges like the good old days. Man, there would be injuries. If you sign up, you sign up. What do you think? Would it work?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's sort of where I was going into. It's like, Michelle, are we about to maybe enter a new age where we've got less physical challenges coming up to prevent like injuries, medical evacuations, and all that kind of stuff?
Well, even if Australian Survivor has less, there would still be more than the American.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It seemed pretty safe on the season after that. Australia versus the world, the challenges seemed safe. I didn't see any. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think they're also trying to play extra safe because you do not want anyone getting medical evacuation. If there's one season you cannot afford a medical evacuation, it's Australia versus the world, right?
Exactly.
So they're definitely being extra safe. But yeah, with this season for me, it's just fine. You go in. I feel like we had one tribe of very interesting people, and then another tribe of 3 really interesting people, and 9 sort of just okays. And yeah, there was no real highs this season, but there was also no real lows this season. Is that how you both feel as well?
I think I liked any ball challenge that Miles was in because to me that just made the fans really excited. Balls, Miles, he's really good at this, and everyone was
really good
surprised.
at catching balls.
Well, just because the way he looks, people had this assumption that he wouldn't be good at sport, and he was just good at sport. It was fantastic.
I mean, I recall the football challenge.
Miles. Sorry, I was gonna say that. The little music, like do, and he does every goal every time.
Yeah, exactly. Like
he's awesome. Yeah.
He did a better job than PD, who was a soccer coach.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
that's the best.
Which is so great. But obviously, this is the most recent newbie season. We're going to see AJ return for the traders. How well do you reckon AJ is going to do?
Do we want a faithful or a trader? Yeah, he'll be good. Sneaky. I don't see him as a trader, too obvious. Faithful will be more interesting.
Yeah, I think he'll have a more interesting run as a faithful. And I feel like the traders really suits his style of gameplay as well. I feel like I feel like the show didn't show how well socially connected AJ really was with so many different people, you know? So I'm really excited to see him on.
Poker champion.
Yeah. Exactly. But who else from the season would you guys like to see come back and return?
Paulie?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I'd love to see Paulie come back and play.
I wouldn't mind Laura coming back.
Yeah. So Miles, Paulie,
Noonan or Witchy Laura.
Yeah. You know? For me personally, it's Miles, Paulie, Karen, and Laura, the witch, are my top 4. And maybe throw in Rich.
Rich?
Yeah,
Kate,
I reckon Rich would be pretty funny. Yeah, Kate's a great pick. She almost made it through to the final 4, you know, with Miles targeting AJ, with Kate targeting Kaylin, Zara's targeting Kate, AJ's targeting Zara. Like, it's just crazy. Final 5 are 2-1-1-1-1.
Yeah, mess.
And do you guys observe when they actually show us their real life intros as well? I believe Kate is the very last one you see of the whole cast where she's a DJ? Oh, okay. Like, I'll try to analyze why would they show us someone so late. To me, that tells me it's not the winner, probably. But that's unique to Australian Survivor. I pay attention to that a lot.
Yeah. Well, you know, Michelle, obviously we've talked about quite a few great seasons so far. Is this season too high on the list? Do you reckon it's too low, or do you reckon it's just right?
I'm okay.
It's good right here?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, GP? Do you reckon it's too high on the list, or do you reckon it's like just about right?
Just about right, I think.
Just about right? Well, fair
I
enough.
think we need to see some of these people come back to really see their full
Mm.
potential. So many people on top of that. So many weird events. Yeah. We need more story.
Yeah. Is there anyone else who you would love to see come back and play?
Man, all the women, except maybe Morgan and Kristen. The way they hid Kristen from us, I take it personally also. She was such a sunshine of a personality, yet we don't see much. So that's why I guess. Yeah, Zara, Kate, Logan, and Karen. Bring them all back.
Yeah. That's so many interesting people this season. But, you know, that does sort of bring us to the end of the podcast. Michelle.
Yes.
I want you to take a guess. What season are we talking about next week?
Oh, God, I can't remember. Why do you do this to me?
It's because I love you too much, Michelle. That's why, you know. I want to put you through as much torment as I can.
No, I have actually. Oh, no.
I bet it's 2017 Australian.
I was thinking, is it that? But No, that's up near the top, isn't it?
I don't know. Is it?
I can't remember.
All right, well, GP, take a guess. What's the next season we're talking about?
Yeah, 2017 Australian Survivor.
We're going to say you are an absolute monster. There's no way season 2 would be that low. We're not talking about season 2.
I have to get my phone out.
We are talking about the only full returning Australian Survivor play season, Australian Survivor All-Stars.
Okay.
We're going to be joined by Cam and Sam from Kappa Immunities as well. I'm so excited. I haven't chatted much with Cam since Equilibrium, so it'd be great to really, dive deep into, all stuff between like him and Sam and what could have been with Cam and I. I feel like we're on the same page, but never on the same novel. You get what I mean? Same page number, 2 different novels. But yeah, make sure you tune in next Wednesday as Michelle, Cam, Sam, and myself will be discussing All Stars, all the highs and lows of that. But GP, where can people find you? Where are you posting all these great different AI twists?
Yeah. On Instagram is where the most of the action happens because contestants actually react to it. On TikTok as well, I'm there, Survivor Twist. And a little bit on YouTube. Actually, YouTube, everyone needs to follow me. It's 14 subscribers. Let's go.
14. You're making your way up there. Speaking of subscribers, make sure you subscribe for cheeky, naughty times. Michelle, here's a fun fact. We are 3 subscribers away from reaching 200 subs.
Wow.
That's 200 amazing. Subs in 1 year. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you all so much for the love and support. Make sure you subscribe for cheeky, naughty times. But Michelle, we're getting to the end of the school year. This is where teachers, they can see the finish line. Are you up to anything naughty for end of school?
Well, not fair. Oh, well, end of school, yes. There's a few little parties and things on. But when you release this on Wednesday, I will be at a party that is very exciting. Very exciting because I've been invited to the TikTok Awards in Sydney.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to have an amazing time.
Yeah. Make sure you bring out all the different TikTok dances and trends and stuff like that,
I don't do
Get your groove on.
My daughters try to make me do the dances in the car and that thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that. I do hope I see some certain people, though.
Come on, Faith. A
specific rule we have at the Century Maze is no TikTok dancing allowed. Because there's so many different rooms where you can do TikTok dances.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So how about you, GP? Anything cheeky or naughty you've got coming up, bro?
Yeah, I'm finally going to that French trip. I'll go to France for the first time, and we'll see what these people are about. I've been watching a bunch of French survivors, so I'm kind of like, okay, I like them now. Let's see if they're for real. Trying to make sense of it.
Have you watched Tanya's season yet?
No. The one who poisoned their whole tribe, I will find out which she's... I'm watching French Survivor Secret Weapons, it's called. So it's a twisted on twist. Yeah, very, very interesting. A bit soft, though. Yeah.
Well, coming up here on Mucky Productions, V, Drew, and Jake are doing a bloody phenomenal job covering American Survivor Season 49. Kahuna, The Vault, and myself have just finished Squid Game The Challenge. And for the very first time, we have a player interview. Can you believe it, Michelle? We're actually interviewing someone. Mr. Isaiah, player 410. They will be releasing on Sunday night. Tune in for Sunday as we break down Isaiah's experience on Squid Game The Challenge, all the highs and lows of his game. He made questionable moves at times, smart moves at others. Make sure you tune in to find out all the ins and outs of his game. I've been your host, Mucky. Hope kakite anō everyone. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, guys. Bye.
Bye.